campus in Suleimani, Iraq. The TAKWEEN Accelerator is part of the YANHAD initiative, which is funded by the European Union and the Ministry of France. We partner with Expertise France, and we are housed at the American University of Suleimani in Iraq. Tonight, I'm happy to bring to you a panel of 3 founders from Iraq to share with you what it's like to build a successful startup in the country. We are supporting the American University Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center Entrepreneurship Week this week. And so this is the second event that we have held this week. The first event was a webinar on Monday evening. And if you would like to hear more about that, you can find it on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and get started. I made popcorn. I hope you all brought popcorn because it's going to be a great show. We will have each one of our founders do what we call the elevator pitch so that they can tell you about who they are, where they are, and what they're doing. We will start with Mohammed from TransPi.
Hello, Eileen. Hello, everyone. Hope this is going well. I'm Mohammed Salman Amin, the co-founder of TransPi. We are based in Baghdad. TransPi is solving the problem that the students face during the commute when they go to the college every day back and forth. And we are solving this issue by delivering the first Iraqi technical ride-sharing platform that manages the relationship between the captains and the students, so we can ensure delivering the perfect daily commute for the students. And we do have a team of 7 members.
Very good, thank you. And how about Rand with SmartMed?
Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Rand. I'm a co-founder of SmartMed. We're based in Suleimaniya city. We are solving a problem of manual handwriting and admin tasks of health sector facilities by providing a SaaS application for digitalization of medical businesses such as clinics, pharmacies, and hospitals. And currently we are a team of 7 people.
Great, thank you very much, Rand. And next we will have Zana.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Eileen. So my name is Zana. I'm founder of 2 companies, Enlighters and Oneconnect. We are based in Erbil, and we are solving the problem of lack of marketing and advertising services, as well as business management tool by providing full service digital media, as well as a SaaS product that helps the SMEs and startups to resolve the issues that they had. And we have a team of 9 members.
Excellent. So I would like to thank all of you for the hard work that you're doing and point out to our audience that these 3 gentlemen, because they chose to become entrepreneurs with their co-founders, have generated 23 jobs for Iraqi citizens, because they're working very, very hard on building and delivering new products in the country and increasing the private sector. So just want to say thank you, because it's very hard to do this work inside of Iraq, and you are all successful, and we're really looking forward to your growth. But at this moment, you've done an outstanding job. Well done. So one of the ways that we define a startup as being innovative or disruptive is if it offers a benefit to the clients that they had no access to before. So if you could put into hours of saved time, how many hours of saved time would your clients experience per week or per month? And I would like to show how your products are very different. You're serving very, very different clients, how technology and building innovative products make a difference no matter what sector we're in. So I'll start with you, Zana. What do you think?
So basically I will talk about Oneconnect. For example, Oneconnect is a SaaS product. We are providing software as a service. And through this platform, business owners and teams will be able to save tens of hours per week. And why I'm saying that, I will bring myself as an example, because I have like Enlighters and I have different team members. I have to initiate the task management or a task to be done and social media content to be, let's say, created, and which needs a whole process of developing and everything. So before we have Oneconnect, we were using different tools, which is costly as well as wasting lots of time, jumping from this tool to another to come up with these all, like, let's say, like to managing all these components that we need to do. So Oneconnect is going to save individuals, teams, and companies time, tens of hours per week. That's expected, and it's going to do that very successfully. And
Great.
easily.
Thank you. And how about you, Mohammed?
Okay, so like starting mission, one of the main problems that the students and the captains suffer is the communication. It's being a traditional communication between these two like segments. So like when they need to find each other before the start of an academic year or like at any day of the academic year, they cannot reach at a point, at a level, so they can know each other. So that's the main one. And they do suffer, especially the students. So to find the driver, to find like a committed captain along the academic year, especially at the last month of the summer holiday. So they spend like 1 hour per day just calling their friends, their families, their relationships. So they just can't find, okay, give me someone who can take me to the college. And that is being like pretty much simple with us. With just like few clicks, you can go through the application and just provide us with your information, your college, your like location. That would be all, and we can match you through like your best captain who's available for us. So that's how it's been, the communication being simple at the moment, because we've been like 20 years with the infrastructure, and that's how it goes like year by year and with the product development itself.
Great, thank you. So we're saving time for students and we're saving time for businesses who are managing social media. So let's go over to Rand and see what kind of time are you saving?
For SmartMed, it's not just about the time saving, it's also about the quality of a healthcare. We are dealing with medical businesses like clinics, pharmacies, and laboratories. These businesses are dealing with patients. Therefore, by providing an application for those businesses, it's not just about the time saving, because the old manual and handwriting process was taking much more time by taking the medical records of the patients and then finding those medical records. And the next appointments was even more time consuming because you know that the patient, when come back to that clinic, he needs to find the doctor needs to find the old notes about that patient. So through SmartMed, we have reduced that time, also increased the quality of healthcare. By just one click, you can find the history of the patient, you can find the notes, you can find the follow-up of the patients. Therefore, I could say that it's reducing the time of the patient, also increasing the health quality and increasing of the patients that could be seen by the doctors.
Very good, thank you. So the reason why I bring this up is because when you have more time, you're able to be more productive. So all of the clients that they are supporting are now able to be more productive in their jobs, in their communities, focus on schooling, focus on education. So it frees them up to do more in other areas that are more important. And I've just loved that we're saving so many hundreds of hours per month between all of you. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is, let's go way back to the beginning. Let's talk about what's the very first thing or few things you did when you decided to turn your idea into a business. Like, what do you do? Where do you start? I'll go with you, Rand.
Well, the first idea was to develop an electronic prescription. Electronic prescription means that we digitalized the medical prescription. And the first thing that I did once I got the idea is to find a co-founder, so that I can work with him. Then we've started to develop a prototype of our product, of our idea. So the first thing we did was developing a prototype of electronic prescription at the beginning.
Very good. And did you have to invest very much money at that point?
First of all, because I found a co-founder, another colleague of mine, and he was a developer by himself. So I saved money by developing the prototype ourselves. So we did not invest any money in it.
All right, great, very good. So there's a way that you can leverage having co-founders and share some of the equity of the business by bringing together different technical skills. So each founder gets a different level of equity based on what they're contributing. This is a great way to start a business when you have no cash in hand. So how about you, Mohammed? How did you start?
It was like late 2018. And so we need to do the preparations and see how we go to the market, because it's been like the first of its type, like as a solution in Iraq. And it's also like not very similar to any other solutions like around the world, because they do not have the same problems as we do. So it was the preparations, like to see what operation we must do. Okay, we know that they suffer from problems, but how would go the day-by-day operation goes. So that was the first thing that we do, simulating the operations and seeing how it goes, and also preparing the the first MVP that we developed and testing the prototype, how it goes with the market, and see if it's like in need or not. And also, aside from the other preparations for the marketing and the branding itself, the company registration. But the first thing, of course, like you find a team, and after that you do all these preparations. But the MVP was the whole propaganda that we used to work with, so we can prepare for the product itself at the future.
So when you showed that to your very first users, did you get some feedback right away on what you need to do to change it or update it?
Yeah, of course. Like when we started to document how the technical platform goes, I do remember the first document was something around 32, 36 paper, but at the end of 2019, it jumped to 100 paper. And now it's almost something around between 250 and 300 paper, like the documentation of the platform and the technical itself. So that shows how much like you absorb the feedbacks and take it into considerations, and how you try to like leverage these problems with the students and the captains, so you can take them into product development and give them a better solutions with that.
Wow, that's great. It's good that you're doing that. Okay. So it's okay to go to market with something that's not perfect. It's okay to take the smallest version of your product. We call them a prototype or a minimal viable product, and get it out in front of your users as fast as possible. So you spend the least amount of time and effort before you start getting customer feedback. It's much better this way than to keep it a secret for a year while you're building it before you launch it. So Zana, I'm going to change the question for you. Let's talk about whether or not you completed any market research before you started building your solution. If yes, how did that impact your idea? Or if no, what happened, and what happened later once you started releasing your product?
Right. So I have done a market research through social media, online, let's say. And what I have done was like, to make sure that our product, it matches with the market's need in the meantime. And this was the main question, that we wanted to make sure that this product it's not going to be developed for, let's say, Iraqi market, and there's no need for it. And to be honest, it's kind of, I would say we have done it twice, because I remember in 2017 when I built Enlighters, that's the first company, I did it somehow that time. And that was to make sure that the market needs it. And I figured out something very interesting at that time. It was the companies that they are one-man show, which is run by one person, let's say the first generation. And when they want to hand it over to their children, which is the second generation, or the grandchildren, they were the ones who were interested in such a product, because they said, oh, we have this business for years, but we don't know how to hand it over to our children, because we haven't used any systems, we don't have anything in place. And according to them, I knew that, okay, this tool might help them, but at that time we didn't start building a lot of stuff, because it wasn't very much needed in the market. Some people, they liked it, but it wasn't the right time. That's why the idea of Oneconnect I personally postponed it until the COVID time, let's say 2020. And that's where, with the help of participating in this program, said, okay, this is the right time. A lot of people are moving towards digitization and the companies are moving there. So that means we need the tool right now. We need to build it. I know maybe a lot of people, they haven't used it yet. And I know we haven't done a lot of marketing, but we have done the market research and we think that this is the right time. And especially targeting small businesses and startups, they can be the ones that they need it as, like, let's say, the most. And that's the important thing. And to be honest, when it comes to market research, it's very important to do it. But sometimes when you are a startup or a small business, or you have just an idea, maybe you cannot do huge market research because you don't have a lot of fundings or financial resources that can support you. But you can always do it through your network. And this is what I did. I had a network of startups, and I have a lot of, I know a lot of business owners. I sat with them and talked about the idea, and this is how I built the market research, because I knew that I will not be able to do it. And I would like to mention one thing very quickly here as well. It's not true that you do the market research and the world will go like that all the time. Right. You need to be ready to pivot somehow at any time. So right. When you do a market research now, it's very important at least to know that your product is needed. But maybe in 1 year or less than 1 year, especially in Iraq, the market is not stable all the time. Maybe in 6 months or 1 year, you need to pivot. You need to do another, if we call it another market research, or a research by itself. So you have to be prepared and ready for that as well. But it's very important to do.
Right, right, agreed. And that's why market research is so important, is because we have an idea in our mind about what we want to deliver. We have the solution. But if we don't talk to those who we want to purchase it from us, we may not build what they want. So you can do market research, like Zana mentioned, and Mohammed's been doing, for free. Like, there's lots of ways to access your potential clients for free and get some input and feedback from them before you start building, or right after you have your prototype. So Rand, how did you handle this? You were going in and talking to doctors and hospitals and pharmacies. Like, how do you convince them to transition from handwritten to a complex digital system?
So for SmartMed, at the beginning, we did not do any market research. We went straight to build a prototype or an MVP. So once we built our prototype, then we went to market. Then we saw that the needs of the market was way much more than the product that we have already developed. We just developed a feature of electronic prescription, just writing down a prescription for patients. And we saw that the doctors need a medical report and like medical records to be saved by themselves, so that they could get back to their data way much faster. So you can say that we conduct a market research after developing our prototype. And once we learn about our customers' need, we started to develop our software, and we add way much more features to them. So we've started to do another marketing or another market strategy to reach our potential customers and convince them that the SmartMed has tons of features that you could get benefits of them. And yes, the market research, I agree with Zana, it's very, very important at the beginning, so that you develop a product that could fit the market that you are going to. And this is the most important point for myself also. This thing we did not conduct in SmartMed, but luckily after developing a prototype, we were able to convince our doctors to switch to SmartMed and start using SmartMed. And by that time, we developed features and new features in the SmartMed.
Oh, that's great. So your market research was after your prototype, but it also showed you a much, much larger market that you could hit and features that you could offer by expanding on your initial idea. So that's great. I'm going to switch over to Mohammed, and I'll ask each of you about What did you do in the very, very beginning when you had no customers, you had no money, and you're trying to build something? Like, what are the resources? Where do you go when you need help? You don't know how to do something. You don't know how to do marketing. You don't know how to do maybe the financial part, or you don't know how to do the technical. So being an entrepreneur is many pieces. It's not just I have an idea, right? You have tech, you have business, you have marketing, you have all of this. So what kind of resources did you use, and where did you go for help? I'll go to Mohammed.
Okay, that's pretty hard question. Because like it shows how the life it goes, especially with the like not entrepreneurs only, but those who are like opening startups and projects. I remember like we do have a lack of resources a lot in Iraq, and especially like with physical processes and like let's say resources. I remember that we still until now like we depend on ourselves on the like self-learning. I remember that I don't know anything about the sales, finance, management, and a lot of things. I knew a few things about the marketing, but the whole process itself was pretty hard. That was before 4 years. And the self-learning process was like very, very life-changing point, because when you learn something by yourself, it's something very, very huge impact on your life. It's even like more like better than having a 1 year, 2 year in college of learning something, because we are doing is learning by doing, because it's all about experience. And I'm one of those like lucky people who do have like a connection aside from the team and their like great efforts. Like I'm very, very like grateful and lucky to have like such members in our team. Everyone was not that much experienced, but they gave what it takes to do that work, especially with the tech and the marketing, the market research, etc. And also I do have like connections, like especially I can mention names like Dhafa Hassan, the project manager of Innovation for Development in the UNDP, and Rose Nassim, project manager at IREX, and doing Ali Bawi, Al Hassan. They were also like I do had a great circle of mentors, helped me a lot through not being stuck with something. Okay, I'm stuck with something here, just go to other thing, try to fix it now, then come back to other things. And they also opened my mind with new methodologies like the gamification, the market, human behaviors, how to deal with the design thinking, design sprint, etc. All these things. So that was the first thing being exposed to with my connection. And that's the best thing I'm doing until now, like keeping my connection closer and also being able to talk with them about what's new and how can I implement it in our project, and especially in Transpa itself. So that's pretty hard thing to figure out at the first steps of your project. But if you can do self-learning and if you can manage to have a connection and a circle, that would be great. Like you do have the best mix to start with everything you need.
That's great. Thank you. It sounds like you were well connected, and we're lucky to have a strong network around you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to Zana, but while I'm talking to Zana, Mohammed, I'd like you to put into the chat and tag it to everyone where they can find your business. Where can they learn more about what TransPi is doing? Maybe put your social media handle or other ways that they can find you. So Zana, let's talk about what do you do when you get stuck and you're faced with a big challenge, and who helps you? Where do you turn?
No, but that's a very interesting question, and here's a very interesting story, by the way. First of all, like I put myself in a situation that I got stuck by myself. So I remember in 2016 I had 2 jobs before I start my own first small business in lighters. So I was like, you know, I was making almost $5,000 per month, having a very stable, let's say, economic life and enjoying life and everything. But I decided at the end of the year, I decided to start my own business. And somehow I was like, you know, having a capital to run my business and everything. And then we were some partners. But in 6 months, it turned out that everything is different. Life is now not the bright one as I was expecting. But like, you know, I knew that I will go through that. But I have this plan, like from the day one, that I knew that I have the capital to start. I knew that I have the mindset for the business. I know that I will be successful if I will be patient, for sure. So, and I was. And one of the plans that I had in place from the beginning, it was participate in any programs that I learn soft skills, and I can develop the business, I can get the funds, I can get investment, I can get new customers and stuff like that. So one of the ways that when I get stuck, for example, from the beginning, it was going to meet new business owners and see why I'm not getting a contract with them. Okay, you don't need my services, I don't need you to work with me, I don't need anything, but I want you to tell me one secret that I will have you as a client in 5 years, for example. So this was one of the ways that I personally never did sales. But through this, I learned, okay, this is a way of learning sales. And this is a way of learning how to convince other when I go to the market again. So this is how I kind of like did extra sales for the company by myself. At the same time, there were programs, not incubators, but accelerator program like TAKWEEN came in 2020, and I participated in the program in order to win a grant, or as well as in order to learn a lot of stuff to improve the idea and the business that I have. Like, for example, that's where the Oneconnect born, and that's where I could learn a lot of things that I never knew that I will be able to make money out of it. And to be honest, aside from all of that, the network that I had. And you can't imagine, I will not tell the number, by the way, this is a bit internal secret in the company, but you can't imagine how low budget we are on for Enlighters so far. And most of the companies that customers that we got, it was through the networks that I have, through the connections that I have, through the first customer that we got, that we built a very good, let's say, reputation. Through their word of mouth, we could get new clients. People are calling us, and we never contacted them. We never reached out to them. And it was yesterday when I got a notification as well on my screen. It was like from Google, it's telling Enlighters got 1,514 visitors this month. And it's true, because this month we got few phone calls from Dubai, from Turkey, like Istanbul. There are some
Wow.
They want to come to Iraq, and they want to partner with us and work with us. I know maybe sometimes like there are some big projects we are maybe not ready for it, but this is a great experience. This is shows that there's a big potential for our business to grow.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. So I just wanted to make a clarification between the two different businesses that you have, just for the audience. I'll do it in my layman terms.
Thank you.
So,
this is confusing all the time.
So Enlighters is a digital marketing service. So if you are a business, an SME, and you need someone to build your website or manage all of your social media, then Enlighters does that work for you. Oneconnect is different, and this is why he was invited to participate in the TAKWEEN Accelerator, because there's a lot of digital marketing services businesses in Iraq. We did not bring him into the program because of Enlighters. We brought him into the program because he was discussing building Oneconnect, which is a platform. It's completely developed technology that brings together all the different pieces that you need when you're creating all of these social media graphics and content and translations and posting schedules. So instead of using 4 or 5 different tools, he's created a platform. So if you are doing your marketing, digital marketing in-house, you can use the Oneconnect platform to bring together that entire process, your graphic designers and your content creators and your posting scheduling all into one place. So that's the difference between the two, and why he was brought into the TAKWEEN Accelerator to advance the Oneconnect concept. Thank you very much. So Rand, I'm going to switch over to you, and I'd like to talk about what do you think the difference is between the mindset of an entrepreneur and the mindset of someone who's just really, really focused on making money?
And this is a very good question. The mindset of someone who wants to make money, the focus of those peoples are just about getting money, getting their salary in time, getting promotions during their work period. While the entrepreneurs, I remember you said something in our TAKWEEN accelerator that got into my mind, that entrepreneurs are like they have to do the marketing, they have to be financial guy, they have to be managers, like you have to do all of those things. So if you're not enjoying that, what you are doing, you can't call yourself entrepreneur. And at the very first beginning, entrepreneurs, like they continue with their work. They don't give up just easily, because at the very first beginning of any project or business, you will face a lot of difficulties, from financially through marketing and to like connections and networks. Not just like the way you go through, it's not always light and it's not always flat. You get bumpers all the time. So entrepreneur persons, they don't quit easily, and their mindset is just that building some things for themselves and for their surrounders and for others to get involved with. Like as you mentioned at the beginning, by providing we three of us have been providing 23 jobs, which is a great thing, that 23 persons who are freshly graduated or graduated with experience are now working in a company that is run by us entrepreneurs, and we are working to gain more peoples and giving them the ideas of entrepreneurship, so that they could somehow someday they could develop their own projects or businesses. Therefore, as a conclusion of my speech about the entrepreneur mindset, is that you have to have the ability and the thinking of developing a product or a business inside your head. Also, by research, doing some research, participating in some programs. Mohammed mentions the UNDP Innovation for Development. By the way, I was one of their participants back in 2016, and I didn't see you back then, Mohammed. So you just need to search for it and learn more stuff so that you get encouraged and start your own business.
Yes. Okay. So I appreciate that, because we talked about it a lot, about the difference when we do the application process at TAKWEEN, and we told you this after you were accepted. We're looking for entrepreneurs. We're looking for those individuals who we believe have that mindset, and that they have that wherewithal, that they can keep going, and they have that willingness to learn 10 different departments that they have to figure out, be it good at HR and marketing and finance and sales, right? So it's definitely a mindset shift of who we're looking for, and why the three of you made it in. And Zana, you have something you would like to add to this?
Yes, so I have a very lovely thing. Let's say, like when I compare between these two, like entrepreneurs or someone who's just making money. So, and I always focus on the positive side. By the way, there are a lot of challenges for the entrepreneurs, but to be honest, for entrepreneurs, they are creating new markets. But for a businessman, they are not creating a new market. They are becoming a new player in the existing market. That means they are not creating something new. But for entrepreneurs, they are making something very new, and they are making a new market for their products and services. And for entrepreneurs, when you have a project, it's not only about the money. That's true, you will think about revenue, but it's also about people. It's bringing some people that they have the same idea. But for business owners, it's like the first thing comes to mind, it's about profit. And to be honest, like I know there are a lot of competitions, but for entrepreneurs, there's less competitors in the market in the beginning. comparing to a business that's started by a businessman in an existing market. So at the end, I would say that entrepreneurs, they will be the market leader, and businessmen, or let's say business owners, they will just become a market player. Let's say more players in the market, in the same market, but for entrepreneurs, they will be the ones that they will be able to, let's say, become the market leader.
Right, right. Very good. Thank you. So Rand mentioned bumpers. So let's talk about bumpers. We can call these biggest learnings, lessons, mistakes, or just things that you did not expect to happen that came up, and how you dealt with them. So we'll go to you, Mohammed. He's already laughing, so I know he has something.
It was everything.
Everything.
Yeah. You do remember our story, like at the late 2018, we started the preparation of TransPy, and and like we were set to begin our first go to the market, like the operation was on the 1st of October 2019, and we spent the whole process, like it was almost a year, more than a year of preparation, like developing research, etc. And we go to the market, like we just started our sales cycles and the marketing campaign at the 8th of June 2019. And after that, the 1st of October, it should, like our first drivers, first captains should go take their students to the college and like take their commute. And the 1st of October was the like revolutions that happened and the protests like in the Iraqi streets. And after that, the internet went down in Iraq, and also like it dropped down our main work like for 1.5 months. And when after that, like the protests like went down a little bit and the internet came back, we were just okay coming back to work again, and the COVID hit, and it turns all the educational processes into like an online. So everything wasn't expected. And that's the first thing that I want to connect, like of what to do, is we are living in Iraq in a situation that's never been expected at all. Like you wake up in the morning, like 1 hour after that, you don't know what's happening. So the first thing is that now we are taking more into consideration these things, but although like it's not something is internal, like, you know, in marketing, the strategies, there is something that are internal aspects that you should take care of. If you do have problems, you can solve them. But when it's outside problems, and especially an outside problems with the government, with the whole process itself, with like many atmospheric situations like the COVID, they're hard to recover, they're hard to deal with. So everything was not expected. But the good thing is, through these problems, through these unexpected like journeys, it gave an exponential growth in everything, and in TransPy itself, and the team, the capacity building, and like all of the other aspects that we can think of. So I would say everything again.
I can't imagine building a product for a year and then there's protests and then there's COVID. Yeah. Oh, and it's a product that's 100% dependent on people going back and forth to schools that are completely shut down.
Yeah, just imagine, since 1956, no students' protest has ever happened in Iraq, like let's say almost half a century. And with my lucky day, they got into the protest at the 2019.
Wow. And he's here and he's laughing and he has built his business and has employed 7 people. So this is resilience, and this is the entrepreneurship mindset we're talking about. So Rand, let's hear about some of your mistakes or what you learned on the way.
Well, at the very first thing about the mistakes, that I'm always going back to the market research, that we should have conducted a market research because we spent a lot of time on developing a prototype that was like not a fit for our market. This is the main mistake we did at the very first beginning. But as Mohammed mentioned, coronavirus, the pandemic was a very good lessons for us, especially for medical businesses, since everything got shut down. clinics, private hospitals, private centers got shut down, those business owners realized that if they had an online application, they could easily go back to their data through home. Most of the doctors were those who had other applications, and especially those who were using SmartMed, were able to get their patients' data easily and connect with their patients on even over phone. So the corona pandemic, although affected us by reducing sales, by getting less revenue during those times, but it gave a very great lessons to our customers that an online application or software could help them, because in this country most of the people's thinking about offline systems because the internet is not stable, while the time has come that only internet was our only way to the outside world.
Wow. So we have completely opposite. We have where COVID completely brought Mohammed to a stop because nobody was getting in vehicles and going to school. And then we have Rand, who the COVID experience taught the clients that they needed to have a digital system. So it actually, one brought them down and the other one brought them up. So it's very interesting to see that. And how about you, Zana? Let's talk about some mistakes you made along the way.
Lots of mistakes. I'll call them like lots of lessons that I learned throughout the journey. Like one of the lessons that I learned was in 2017 when I started in Lighters. We were a group of 4 friends that we started the company, but in the midway that we figured out that we don't go along with each other and we need to separate, and that's it. It's like, it's like you have a marriage and at the end you can't find a way for it. So but it was a good lesson for me that for the next business, when I started Oneconnect, I didn't do the same mistake. Thanks God. That's good. So another mistake, or let's say another lesson that I would like to talk about was again, COVID. I think that had an impact on all of us. I remember we were having around 21 contracts at that time, or let's say clients. 19 of them within 1 week canceled. Ooh. I was like, oh my gosh, and especially most of them, they were from hospitality sector, like restaurants, some hotels, and even the other ones, they said, okay, we don't need your services for now, we have to cancel it. Some of them postpone it until we see how's the situation. And this is very funny because we didn't have any, let's say, emergency plan in place for that. I think the pandemic was new to everyone, not only in Lighters, but it was a good lesson as well to learn from it, that you might have tens of clients, but within a day or night or within a week, you will be, shocked with canceling all the contracts. So what you will do? So that was okay, we were patient, that we had to think about something good. But that was really good actually, because what happened at that time, now we see the advantage. I know, I'm not saying the COVID was good, but the experience was good for me, because now we see a lot of businesses in Iraqi market are going towards digitization. And I remember another mistake that I will go back 2017 again. It was, we were, according to the market research that I have done, Enlighters was only providing social media management. That's it. We come to you, we tell you, you have TAKWEEN, we can take care of your social media platforms, we will do the content creation, designing, short videos, and that's it. But when we went to the market, we figured out that, okay, I need this, but I need video production as well. I need company profile design as well. I need branding as well. Why should I give you this one and give another one to another company? So this was another, okay, I don't know if this is a mistake or not, but in the first place, we just wanted to go to the market with one service. But after 6 months, I did the pivoting and we changed the strategy of the company providing extra services. We made it 4 services. Now we have 9 to 10 services. That's based on the market needs. And this is like, I call it like agile method. You cannot anticipate all the things at the same time. And you have to figure it out when you're going along.
Right. That's great. Very good. Thank you. So everybody had some kind of an impact from COVID, and we're able to apply lessons learned into the business from that. So that's outstanding. And one of the things about entrepreneurs is that they just keep going. They just keep going. It doesn't matter what the challenge is. They find a network, they get some help, they get some support, they pivot and do whatever it takes to keep it going. So I would like to talk, we talked a little bit about how an entrepreneur has to wear many hats and do different things. So in a typical week, like how many hours are you spending on tasks that are related to building the product versus how many hours are you spending on tasks related to selling the product? And I'll go over to Rand.
Well, currently for SmartMed, our developer teams working a full-time 5 days a week from 9 to 5 p.m. Working and developing new features and doing updates and following up with our customers. Most of the time they're working in developing our product. Regarding the sales, since we are doing our sales as our marketing strategy is one-to-one meetings with the doctors, we are doing 4 to 5 hours per day as a total of 25 hours per week on sales and meeting with new customers and with the potential customers and so on.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very busy doing both. And then
Yes.
Mohammed, how about you?
That would be it's been almost split by 50-50 because there is an outgoing 24/7 process of analysis and getting data and insights to come up with. And these insights are either going to go to a marketing strategy, or it will go into a product development. So the first thing we do is the analysis and the tech analysis of the platform and the audiences and the funnel down. And at the same time, it's all also either goes to the marketing campaigns where we can see an insight we can play on, and or it goes to the product development. So it's almost like a 50-50 a percentage between them, depending on the hours per week. So I would go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. And then I'm going to switch topics now, and let's talk about some of the tools that are available for those who are listening, who want to start their own business. They have an idea and they need to start doing something. I'm going to refer to the Lean Canvas template because it's available for free online. Anyone listening right now can go Google search on Lean Canvas template. Not only can you find the template itself, you can also go to YouTube and watch some videos and lectures about how to complete Lean Canvas. It's free, it's accessible to you today. It will help you formulate a lot more about your business. So I'd like to hear from you, Zana, what did the Lean Canvas do for you when you went through the exercise?
So basically, it's very important. I think it's a must for every single individual or a team that they want to start a business, because it organizes everything that you have in mind. Like the brainstorming that you have done and everything, you can put it on the paper, you can put it in this template. That it helps you with figuring out what you need to do. And that's the most important thing. Like for me, I know you might do some changes to it from now and then, but it's very important to be able to organize everything that you have. Like, for example, you will be able to put your key partners who you want to be in the beginning to involved in the project, and then what are the activities or services that or the features that your solution is providing, and what you as Zana, what I had as resources that support this business. And then the value proposition, this is the most important thing. This is the lovely part, that what makes for example, in Lighters or Oneconnect, different from any other, let's say, competitors, or let's say, what are the values that I am giving others? And this is where I learned that the customers, they have a pain, and I need to be the painkiller, that I will help them. And this is where I could put everything on the template. And then how you want to communicate with your customers, how you want the relation to be with the customers. And as well as, like, you know, the channels, like especially for marketing and advertising. This is the most important thing. You will figure out that in Iraqi market, the social media is very active. You can put the channels that you want to target. For example, I'm targeting businesses. So where can I find business owners? Where I can find, let's say, the people who are responsible for contracting, so I can communicate with them or send them our services, company profile, and then the you know, like what type of customers you are targeting. As well as, it's very important because like it will help every single business to come up with, you know, like the pricing structure, let's say. And the template by itself is very important because it's like, you know, organizing all these ideas and equipments, tools, what kind of customers, partners you need to put it in place. So, and this is important. It's not because only it's a canvas, it's because organizing your life, business life and everything.
Right, right. It helps you organize and structure. So for those who have never heard the term lean canvas model before, it is the agile methodology of writing a business plan. So in Silicon Valley, we don't write 20-page Word document business plans anymore. And it's completely acceptable to have a single-page business plan that you show to potential investors. And that's using the lean canvas model. So Mohammed, tell us about your experience with using this template.
We do all know the definition of the mitochondria. It's the building blocks of all cells. So I would refer to the same concept like for the lean canvas. It's the building block of a startup, especially when it has like an innovative idea. The best things I love about the lean canvas, especially when I worked on it like before 3 years, it was the existing alternatives, or the, like, let's say, the competitors. It gives you like how you can find the competitors, or like an early company that had to work in your sector, and what problems they went into, how did they face them, did they fail, did they succeed, and what other alternatives they used. Like one of the best examples, Uber, when they get to Jordan and they couldn't resist there because of the legal issues up there, but Kareem managed to do a lot of that in Jordan. So we always have to dig deeper into each aspect of the lean canvas, and also for the early adopters. Like, it's one of the best things that I always want to go with the niche market, finding your early adopters, because like we see the diffusion of innovation. When you find your early adopters, they give you a huge amount of the feedbacks. They're the one who help you with the product. They are the one who can help you how to develop your service and product, because they tell you what are the pinpoints in your product and service, but they will not leave you because they see something bright at the end of the tunnel. They see something is good with your product and service. So they help you without any return at the end. So the early adopters and the existing alternatives, they are one we can always rely on when you first start to operate and think about our startup.
Very good. Thank you so much. And we have 3 minutes left. So I'm going to give you each 1 minute to give your best tips or ideas or solutions, or, you know, if you had to start over again today, what would you do differently? So we have the entrepreneurs, we have AUIS students and other university students listening right now. So you got 1 minute, tell them what they should do next, or how to help them. Rand?
For those who had the idea or who wants to start their own business, I would say that, first of all, dig social medias, search in Google, There are a lot of programs, and not just inside Kurdistan region only, but you can participate online to learn about tools, to learn about the ideas, to learn about the design thinking, market research. Even though if you wanted to start your idea, conduct your market research, think broader. First of all, as my colleagues mentioned, look for a canvas model, see whatever you can find and search for it, so that once you get into the business, you won't make the mistakes that your colleagues or us previously went through. Back then in 2017 and 18, which we started our businesses, like the opportunity was less. Back then there were no any TAKWEEN accelerator or AUIS entrepreneurship center or any other places back then. It was only few of them, and we made mistakes. But now these places are available to connect with them, to participate in their programs. So I'm encouraging them to start researching for those programs.
Great, very good, thanks. And how about you, Zana? 1 minute.
So very quickly, I would say, don't be afraid. Start implementing your idea on the ground. It took me 5 years to sustain the stability inside the lighters. And this is first of all, don't be afraid and be patient. Second, participate in any incubator program you see, any accelerator program such as TAKWEEN, that you will learn a lot. This is like a free college. You will learn as much as you learned from, like, let's say, four years in studying, bachelor degree, or 2 years of master. This is how was the experience for me. And third, I would say, build your connection, build a connection that finding a mentor for yourself. If you have an idea and there's no experts in the country, find someone online. This is very easy. Then join the investor groups, join the entrepreneur groups that you can find, and make friends with those who are going to encourage you and provide you with positive feedback about your ideas. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And how about you, Mohammed?
Okay, I would agree a lot with Zana and Rand. What I would like to add is, like, always start with the testings and the MVPs, because it will showcase very, very huge amounts of informations and data that you couldn't find before. And also, like, the connection circles, try to widen your connection circle always, so you can find the best approaches from many different minds, so you can go with many alternative solutions. Market research, self-learning, and the main thing is the risk itself. Like, take the risk, because it's all about, that's what makes the difference between you and any other one, like in the market, or like outside the market, in the environment itself. And the best thing that we can go with is, when you try to find that, go with a change. Because if you do a change, it will be followed up by many things, that being the money, the propaganda, the name itself, the brand itself. Just go for something that being changed in the environment. In Iraq, we do have a lot of things we can change. So if we trigger these solutions, if we trigger these problems, it will help us a lot to get our final destination, which is the money, which is everyone is talking about. So do for the change first, then everything would be followed back. And that would be my all, and thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. And for me, the last closing remark I would like to add is, if you're at idea phase, make sure that your product is innovative, meaning it's unique, it's not existing in the market, you're not copying somebody else. It's disruptive, which means it's improving existing or old processes, or it's introducing new technology into the market. And number three, that you're using technology. And I do not mean you advertise on Instagram. I mean that you're actually building software products. You're using technology to be disruptive in the environment that you are in, and you're innovative. There's lots of opportunities inside of Iraq for you to be very, very successful. You can look at all kinds of places in ag tech, in education and in medical devices. There's lots of places that you can offer new, innovative, and disruptive technology solutions. We look forward to seeing all of you advancing your skills and becoming entrepreneurs and helping grow the private sector in Iraq. Thank you very much to all you founders, and thank you to everyone who's listening. And you have a wonderful evening and success to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.